think Republican senators will think that this is a fair proposal. I'm certainly willing to listen to Mitch McConnell to alternatives, but the idea that they can bring in this one or that one for political purposes who have nothing to do with the specific facts that the House has alleged and will vote on this week is demeaning to the entire process, and I don't think the American people will stand for it.
Now, Mitch,
belief is that some Republican senators won't stand for it either.
Now, Mitch McConnell was on Fox News over the weekend and has talked about the way that he intends to conduct this trial or influence this trial. Of course, it's presided over by John Roberts, but you need 51 senators to set the rules. Here's something that McConnell says.
Everything I do during this, I'm coordinating with the White House counsel. There will be no difference between the president's position and our position as to how to handle this.
Okay, to be honest, that doesn't sound impartial at all, Senator, but Republicans have said Democrats are just as committed against the president. Is that correct?
We're committed to a fair trial where the facts come out, and we're willing. We don't know what these witnesses will say, but whatever they say, they should be heard from. And Mitch McConnell, when he says he's going to do just what the president wants, it's sort of like a juror conspiring with a defendant. It makes no sense. That's not what a fair trial is about, and what I tried to do in this letter, and what we Democrats are trying to do, is lay out for all of the Republican senators, as well as the American people, what a fair trial would be. We're not interested in dilatory tactics. We're not interested in introducing our own conspiracy theories, just the facts, man. And that's what these four witnesses will produce.
Of course, it is a little different than a jury trial because it is a political process involving people who are supposed to defend an institution but are also partisans. I do have a question, though, about your institutional role here. I understand that senators, Democratic senators, want to defend the institution of Congress, which the president refused to cooperate with. But there's another institution here, the institution of the presidency. As you must know, Senator, in two previous impeachments of presidents, both times the presidents were on the face of it guilty as charged, but both times enough senators decided it would be unwise for the country to remove him. Do you worry that it would damage the presidency if you were to remove this president?
Well, first, the facts must come out. And second, if a president can so abuse power, and he is not stopped, will he do it again, and even in a worse way? Will future presidents do it even more? I think the danger here is the balance of powers and the checks on the president. This president has shown a desire for almost undiminished power more than any other. So I worry much more about the overreach of the president than a diminishment of the president.
You're sure that this is serious enough to warrant not only rebuking the president in some way, but removing him from office?
Look, I'm not making a final decision. I want to hear the facts. I think most of my Democratic colleagues want to hear the facts as well. I think many of my Republican colleagues want to hear the facts as well. This is an attempt to be fair. If you look at this objectively, it is right down the middle. Equal time for both sides. Nothing dilatory. There's an American expression, speedy but fair justice. That's what this letter speaks of. So thank you very much. Thank you. I got to run, Steve.
Okay, Senator, thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
That's Chuck Schumer, the Democratic leader in the Senate, and NPR's Mara Liasson was listening along to that. Mara, what did you hear there?
Well, I heard Chuck Schumer trying to make a distinction between the witnesses that Trump wanted to call, like Hunter and Joe Biden, and then the witnesses that the president has refused to allow to testify. You know, the fact that the president made the ask, he asked the Ukrainian president to investigate the Bidens, that's established. But Republicans complained that what wasn't established was the quid pro quo. Questions about the delayed aid. They said we didn't have a lot of direct evidence about that. So now Chuck Schumer is saying, well, let's call the people who would have direct evidence about that delayed aid, what the president said about it and wanted to do about it. And that's why he's asking for these four witnesses, including the former National Security Advisor John Bolton and the acting Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney. And he's saying, look, if the call was perfect and there was no quid pro quo, then these witnesses will tell us that. Why not let them testify? That's the strong argument that he's making. What we don't know is how Mitch McConnell will respond.
Yeah, and we should note about the senator's abrupt departure there. He promised us 7 minutes and gave exactly that. And Chuck Schumer would get his way, does he have to win some Republicans over to his side in order to get the witnesses that he wants?
Yes, or he just makes a deal with Mitch McConnell. I mean, that's usually how these rules are worked out. The Democratic leader and the Republican leader work out the rules as he said they did in 1999 for the Clinton trial.
Okay, so it's so this letter that Chuck Schumer is sending is part of a negotiation.
Right.
Mara, thanks so much.
Thank you.
That's NPR's Mara Liasson.
On college campuses across India, students are demonstrating today. There have been almost a week of protests over a new Indian citizenship law. It offers amnesty to migrants who are not Muslim. Critics say it discriminates against Muslims. NPR's Lauren Freyer reports that in the capital, New Delhi, the protests have gotten violent. More than 200 people were injured when Delhi police stormed the campus of Jamia Millia University last night. They fired tear gas and beat students with batons. Dormitories were evacuated. Videos posted to social media show bloodied students fleeing into a library and a men's restroom. The university's vice chancellor Najma Akhtar told reporters she newsports.com/radio. And from the Doris Duke Charitable Foundation, whose Sickle Cell Disease Advancing Cures program supports cutting-edge research to cure sickle cell disease. Learn more at ddcf.org.
It's Morning Edition from NPR News. I'm Steve Inskeep.
And I'm Noel King. Good morning. Doctors often treat depression and seasonal affective disorder with light therapy. It's where patients are exposed to an artificial light source. Now some researchers are testing whether another kind of light therapy, one that relies on the color green, can help with chronic pain. Will Stone has the story.
Ann Jones had tried everything short of surgery for her migraines, which have plagued her since she was a child,
They've actually gotten worse in my old age.
to the point where Jones, who's 70, was up to 24 migraines a month.
It was pretty debilitating.
Then her doctor mentioned a study that was taking place in her hometown of Tucson, Arizona. Researchers were testing if daily exposure to green light could relieve chronic pain. Her initial thought,
This is going to be one more thing that doesn't work.
but she enrolled in the study anyways. Each day she'd spend 2 hours in a dark room under the glow of a green LED light. For more than a month, she didn't notice much. Then a big shift. The migraines came less often, and they weren't as intense.
I got to the point where I was having about 4 migraines a month, if that many. I felt like I'd just been cut free.
That outcome is what Dr. Mohab Ibrahim hopes for. He's the one leading the study.
So you can decrease the intensity or increase it.
In his pain clinic at the University of Arizona, Ibrahim gives a quick demo of his device. A strip of green LED lights mounted onto a thin vertical stand. He likes the simplicity.
The most ideal drug or therapy is something that's safe, effective, and affordable.
Still, it's an unlikely approach for Ibrahim. He's an anesthesiologist with a PhD.
Yeah, McDonald's. So many McDonald's. There's McDonald's on literally every exit, except for like one down the stretch.
to restart denuclearization talks with the Trump administration. Jason Struther has more from Seoul. Speaking to reporters, Stephen Biegun says Washington won't give up and has no deadline for negotiations with North Korea. Pyongyang says the U.S. has until the end of the year to come up with a new deal before it will return to talks. Otherwise, the regime has cryptically said it could go a new way. Biegun offered to meet with North Korean envoys while he's on the peninsula, saying Pyongyang knows how to reach him. Over the weekend, the North's official media announced another successful test at a satellite launch site, which some observers say could be a rocket engine. For NPR News, I'm Jason Struther in Seoul. New Zealanders paused for a moment of silence today to mark 1 week since a volcanic eruption on White Island killed at least 16 people. 2 others are still officially listed as missing. Mayor Judy Turner of Wakatani spoke to the BBC about the observance.
That there's parties there. It's kind of hidden away. I never see it during the daytime. I just forget about it when I head this way.
Welcome to McDonald's. Can I take order, please?
I'd like to get a number 2, please, with the Dr. Pepper, and that'll be it.
Sausage egg muffin middle with Dr. Pepper, 561. Thank you.
Oh, speaking of Mustangs, hello Mustang. Yep, it is breakfast time. You too. Good morning.
You have a great day. Bye.
You too, thank you. Last 2-mile stretch before work. Oh, yeah, sorry. It's a 98 Mustang. 3.8 liter. 6-cylinder. Pretty much stock 98 Mustang. The only modifications that have ever happened to it were from the prior owner about 15 years ago. They threw some aftermarket exhaust tips on it. But since then, I've just been pretty much keeping it as stock and as clean as possible. And I'd like this McDonald's. They're pretty fast about their orders here. Some of the other ones that I've hit before on my way down here are not that fast. I once sat in line just for a coffee for 25 minutes at the one that's right outside my house. This one, every time, breakfast, lunch, dinner, football. You know. Alright, so let me get the speed here, I'll explain that. sorry, not 45, 25 minutes for a coffee. Yeah. Because they said, oh, our coffee, we need to clean it real quick. And then told me to go sit in one of the parking spots. And they came out and gave me 2 orders of food that belonged to other people that were completely unrelated to just getting a single coffee. But I had nothing else to do that morning, so I still waited. I just played around watching Twitch and games on my phone and stuff. But yeah, that was pretty bad. That's why I don't like going to the one by my house anymore, and I will purposely drive out of the way to go to another one. But as for the exhaust, so Mustangs are notorious for sitting a little low to the ground. I have issues going over some speed bumps sometimes. I have to either avoid them or go really slowly over a speed bump. But there was a road that was being worked on where they had the roadway kind of torn up a little bit and some stuff was sticking out of it, like the sewer lid, like where the mainline sewer lines with like the manholes. So the manhole cover was sticking up a little bit higher than usual because they had torn up the first layer of road, and it caught my exhaust when I was going down the roadway. I wasn't aware that the construction was going on that road. They had torn it up that much until I was already on it and I couldn't turn around. And it caught my exhaust and just ripped it right off. So from right where my driver's side seat, so basically right past the where it drops down, and it's over by the transmission below the driver's seat, until I hit the back where the actual muffler piece is at. I have nothing on the driver's side. Passenger side's fine, so I have a dual exhaust. And I'm just right now trying to determine if I want to go with H pipes or whatever the other type of piping system is. One provides a better flow and better power at higher speeds and RPMs. The other one provides more torque from the starting line. And since most of my driving is highway speeds, I'm thinking I'm probably going to go with the style that gives me the better performance at higher speeds. But that's something that'll be coming down the line probably another month or two. Going with this like this isn't problematic. It's not causing any dangerous issues for me or anything. Now, if I was sitting stationary for a long time or had this parked in a garage and started the car up, then I'd have problems with the exhaust fumes getting into the car, which would be dangerous. Now here we are. The glorious place I work. It's nothing fancy. It's literally just a small building full of engineers and a test lab environment for cell technologies. Which is why we have a little tower right there with one radio on it that points back down at our building, and a microwave antenna that points to another tower way off in the distance. So I work for a cell provider doing network engineering for them. Fun times. That is for me for this morning. I usually do a driving home stream as well, and then games later on, and just random stuff, completely random with a lot of the stuff I do. But my morning drive and afternoon drive in about another 9 hours or so from here is my usual go-to Monday through Friday, with random games interspersed between then and there. But I appreciate you stopping in for the ride this morning. And that will end it. Y'all have fun.